We were on opposite sides, and yet we got along. Hey guys, it's John sitting here in my studio. I actually was out back this morning drinking my cup of coffee, and due to technical difficulties, I ended up in the studio this morning drinking my mug of coffee. I wanted to come on and talk about something that happened to me yesterday. I had an hour and a half conversation with someone who very early in our conversation told me that we are on the complete opposite side of the political spectrum. I ended up speaking to her for an hour and a half, which is a half an hour longer than my sessions are. We laughed, we joked, we shared how to empower one another. We had a wonderful conversation. We disagreed politically very much. But we didn't judge each other for our political beliefs. We loved one another. We understood that this is what you believe. Okay, that's okay. We could have conversations about it. And we had a beautiful, I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. The key is right now what's happening is there's a whole bunch of people who are just making broad generalizations. All of that side is bad. All of that side is bad. You people are evil. You people are evil. They judge people on race, creed, color, all of those things. When you make a broad generalization, you have to come to realize that you're wrong. And I'll tell you why you're wrong. Because every segment of society has butt heads, but most of every segment of society is loving. And people who don't believe the same as you ideologically are not bad people. They just don't agree with you. And it's interesting because I made that video the other day that I mentioned some of my political beliefs, and I had people who instantly were like, unsubscribe, unfollow, you're an idiot, and blah, 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 blah. Well, if they watched the video, they would have said that, yeah, this is what I believe, but I'm not judging you for yours, and I want no harm done to anybody, right? But they didn't hear that. They just, their belief was, because I believe differently, I'm part of this broad, general chunk of society. They don't know me. They see me on videos. They don't know me. They don't know what I've studied. They don't know what I've done. They don't know, how I dive into the political cases, the legal cases. I read the actual docket. I read what's said in court. I look. I study. I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by the court cases. But so when I come at this, I come at this from the aspect of as I'm doing my research, right? But because I had a specific ideology or specific thought about something, I was lumped into a broad generalization of it as it being an idiot because I didn't believe as they did. This conversation I had with this woman yesterday was just lovely. We had a lovely conversation. We had no issue with one another. We had a great time. We laughed. We joked. We had a wonderful time. We were very clear about the fact that we did not believe the same things. But that had to be okay. To love one another means it's got to be okay. To love one another means you have to be in the space of saying, okay, you can believe differently. If you look at my comments section, you'll see me multiple times say, I respect your beliefs, I disagree. You know what's so interesting about that? I say, I respect your beliefs, I disagree. I almost never get a response to that comment. It lets it go away because I didn't judge them. I said, I respect your beliefs, but I disagree. If they try to force me to believe as they do, then they get hidden from the channel because I didn't try to force them. I just said, I respect your beliefs. I disagree. That was what was so beautiful about this conversation I had yesterday. She and I just talked. We had a wonderful conversation. We shared how there are quote unquote good people on both sides, right? There are beautiful people in every segment of society. But the second you make a broad generalization and say all of you people are wrong, now you've put the people who might have spoken to you or might have come to common ground with you, you've now told them they're wrong. Now they're defensive. Now they're in a position of they've got to defend their belief. You can respect that someone can think differently than you. Opinions are allowed. There's I'm not a Ronald Reagan fan for what he did because I don't believe I believe trickle down statistically is not a good idea. Do I think Ronald Reagan was a bad person? Nope. I find him actually very humorous, especially when he said, "I will not make age part of this campaign. I will not leverage my opponent's youth and inexperience." It was a hysterical line, right? And I thought it was so witty and so wise. And but tear down this wall. I completely respect that, right? It was very interesting. I said to this person we're talking, I said, I have no problem with someone coming up with conservative ideas if I think they're a good person, if they've demonstrated being a truly good person. And I might not agree with, I might not vote, I won't vote for them, because I don't believe in the trickle down and all that. But if they got elected, I would be okay with them being elected because that's democracy, right? But when I have these ideologies, I have to be okay with the other side sometimes, being on top, right? I have to be okay with people who sometimes have a different opinion than me, being able to voice their opinion and put their attempt into work. And I really think that it's interesting. Our world would be so different if when someone rose to the office of presidency and at that same time they got the House and the Senate all at once, and they had 4 years to try their plan out without any hindrance. Right? At the end of 4 years, if the people were better off, then they would be voted back in. And at the end of 4 years, if the people weren't better off, they would be voted out. So they would have 4 years to be unhindered in proving their plan works. But the idea of this is, this woman and I were able to just simply get along, even though we didn't believe the same things. It's okay. It's okay to not believe the same things. It's okay to have a different opinion. It's okay to recognize that they are good people too. Recognize that there are butt heads in all segments of society. Recognize that you can be loving and caring even when they disagree. That you don't have to be right. You can have your beliefs, you can vote via your beliefs, and if you don't believe the same as somebody else, it's not personal. It's just a different belief. She and I didn't have any personal struggle whatsoever in our conversation. We had a beautiful, loving conversation because we didn't judge each other with a broad generalization that says all of you are bad. We just looked at the person in front of us. We loved one another in our conversation. Question is, can you look at somebody who doesn't believe the same as you, even when they're angry? And here's a big secret. If they're angry and they're screaming and they're yelling and they're telling you you're an idiot, recognize it's their fear, not yours. And if you succumb to their fears and you get angry, you're reacting out of your fear of being disrespected. It's their fear, not yours. Exhale, let it go. Lean into the idea of I feel sorry that they're so mad. I'm sorry that they're feeling they're disrespected. And say, listen, I respect your beliefs. I disagree, but I respect your beliefs. Nothing against you. Show the person love. The politics is just chatter. It's just chatter. Show the person love. Live into love. Do what Jeshua said. Love one another. Be the expression of love so that love can shine back upon you. This lady and I had a wonderful conversation because we didn't judge each other. We just loved one another. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.